Hey, Anthony, look at me. I'm traveling.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my house?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to No Vacancy Live Sky Lounge edition. Anthony, I'm going to have to try to keep it on the low, quiet side today because I don't want to piss everybody.
Yeah, I said, why are you in my house? Because that's where I spend.
I know. You live right there, I think.
I probably sat where you're sitting days ago. But yeah.
That's for sure. Anyway, before we get started, I want to wish all of my Jewish friends a happy 5783. Maybe inscribed in the Book of Life, but I guess we'll find out in Yom Kippur if you cease to be before that.
So I have a group of friends. I call it the Jewish poker team, and I'm the only Catholic on there. And so I wish them all, happy holidays. And they send me a text. Oh, glad there's Jewish holidays. It's the only time we hear from Anthony.
Well, at least I heard from you. And to everybody who has a day off today, you're welcome. Also, I'm looking forward to heading out to Choice Hotels with our Everhome Suites product, which is going to be really a great deal. They just signed 21. If you caught Anthony and I on our show on Friday, special edition, we talked all about that. But now's a great time to invest with them in their legacy brands too, coming from the Radisson portfolio, Radisson Red, Radisson Blue, all of those great products. They are going to be really supercharged for your investment out there. Can't wait to see what they do with it. I'm going to start to learn a little bit more out in California this week, I think.
I have a good idea for them. Come up with Radisson Taupe. Let's bring Taupe back.
Oh my God, dude. That was I think taupe and beige was my entire childhood.
Yeah, I had shoes that were taupe. I was the coolest person in the world that had taupe shoes. But you're going to LA, you said?
Yeah, I am.
Downtown LA?
No, I'm going to Corona, California.
Oh, what hotel?
In the Inland Empire. So that should be fun. So LA is going to be great. I get to go to LAX, rent a car. So I got to get on the shuttle bus and do all that kind of stuff. And then I get to drive over an hour. So it should be a long day.
I'm driving 5 hours tomorrow to DC to be with my friends at IHG. So
that's really cool.
We're both on the road. There was an article I was going to send you, and I don't think it went through. And I said, let's talk about it today, and I can't remember the article.
Or we could do it another day. No problems about that.
Why would I bring it up if I can't find it and I have nothing to talk about? Why would I bring it up? Psychologically, what's wrong with it?
I don't know. You seem to have this desire to confess when you do something wrong broadcast-wise here. I don't know, but I will tell you this, Anthony.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Airbnb is asking people, they're charging like these housekeeping fees.
Mow my lawn.
And they give them a chore list. There's $350 for cleaning fees on top of your $250 fee, plus here are your chores. Are you kidding me?
Dude, you're so right about that. And last week when I was on stage at the general session, the lodging conference, I brought up this Airbnb backlash that's happening. The industry sat on its side way too much, not doing anything about it. But now it seems like the problem's starting to take care of itself. People are getting fed up and would just rather have a hotel experience at this point.
Well, again, one of the things that we're good at here on No Vacancy is predicting things. And I think we predicted, especially the corporate market, will be really fed up with Airbnb for too long. You can't listen. There's so many people I know. There's a friend of mine that just bought 3 units, and they own a restaurant. And they were like, we make more money from our 3 units than we do from our restaurant, and that's great. And as long as they provide service, and he goes, oh, we get crazy cleaning fees, and we make money from the cleaning fees as well. That's ending, especially when what's going on now in the next 18 months. I think you're going to see price really shrink in the hotel business. And you can't have a $200 rate in Airbnb and $300 cleaning fee or $200 cleaning fee when hotels on the block are charging $180. So I just don't think it's sustainable. And I think a lot of these people that left their jobs or really depend on this money for cash flow, I think they're going to start seeing it shrink, and then they're going to start losing their Airbnbs. So I mean, I think it's over. I don't think Airbnb is over by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're going to wind up buying a hotel brand one day. But I think it's people. You're going to get the weak people out, and the strong people will stay. But those weak operators, just like in the hotel business, they eventually disappear.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I'm curious as the overall threshold people are going to have to spend the kind of money in summer of 2023 as they did in summer of 22 when there was so much pent up demand, so much desire, so much, I don't care, I'm going anyway. Next year, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but also I think psychologically, people are not ready for going to an Airbnb and not being ready, or not being perfect, not finding your plugins and all that stuff. Because think of what we've done in the last 2 years. We've all become comfortable in our homes. We've all redone our home. A lot of people have painted their walls, cleaned their houses, cleaned their closets. So people are living a little bit more comfortable. And whereas before they were so busy and they didn't really care about the comfort, now I think the way they travel is they want to travel the way they are at home. And right now, a lot of people built their homes to be, offices and be comfortable. And I think when you go to Airbnb and, things aren't right, I think you're going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I just saw a Patton Oswalt comedy special, and he was talking about that same kind of stuff. But his angle was, if I only had a month off, I'm going to do so much to take care of myself, right? And everybody did not do a lot of taking care of their inner selves. Well, maybe they ate some more, but that's it. But Anthony, what I love about being in the Sky Lounge is there's so many nice people here, and there's so many people with the spirit of adventure, right? And that's the whole idea of hospitality, getting out there and doing things. But one of the issues that we've been suffering from, and we talk about it all the time, is a lack of people coming into the market. So I'm curious as to how we're going to get those people excited, right? We talk about how we need to get those people excited, but we don't talk about the methods of getting those people excited. That's why today we've got a great guest today. Let's welcome Debbie Wieland. She's from the Texas Hotel and Lodging Association, where she's the Education Foundation Director. Debbie, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's good to see you. Anthony?
How are we going to get them excited? We're going to tickle them? We're going to tickle them. No? How do you get everybody excited?
So, Debbie, tell us a little bit about how, what you're thinking about when it comes to getting students into wanting to be in the hospitality industry.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've got a background in education. So one time I was in the classroom with students, and I was actually teaching a hospitality course, and without fail, every year, first couple of school days, I would have somebody that would raise their hand and say, "Oh, I thought I was going to learn about the hospital industry. I didn't realize I was going to learn about hotels and tourism and travel." And so we've got an opportunity to really educate our educators and educate our students on what the hospitality industry is. Kind of a marketing dilemma, if you will, for our students.
Right, because they don't fully understand what the opportunities are. And last week when I was at the lodging conference, we were talking about that. And Anthony and I talk about that here, all the amazing opportunities beyond that property level that they don't even consider coming in. So how does that affect you when drawing people into that world of hospitality?
Well, we're in Texas on a marketing campaign and actually working fairly collaboratively with the American Hotel and Lodging Association to make sure that educators and students are learning that there's more to the industry in terms of careers and occupations than housekeeping and front desk. Those are the two areas that individuals who travel and don't really understand the industry have exposure to. And so they don't know about all the dynamic positions that exist within the industry and some of the other departments in the hotel, and they don't understand the excitement in those roles and the skill level that it takes to be successful at generating a profit at your hotel property. So we're working in Texas to make sure that we provide opportunities for our students in high school and in college, but primarily in high school, to learn about that. So, parents send their kids to football camp over the summer, soccer camp. So this past summer in Texas, we hosted 3 hotel summer camps where the students actually stayed in a hotel property, got the opportunity to see the industry from behind the scenes and also experience it as a guest. And it was quite interesting when we asked the students on the very first day, how many of you have stayed in a hotel before? We had 2 camps in Houston, 1 in Dallas, and only about a third of the students raised their hands and said, I've been in a hotel before. So how can they pursue an industry or an occupation when they've never even experienced it?
That's a really good point. So how do you get into the high schools and get them even excited to want to attend hospitality camp?
Well, you rely on the teachers to build that excitement and that interest. And I will tell you, years and years ago, in probably 20 years ago, when I was in the classroom and I had students in a hotel management class, and the very first day I would take them to the resort where they were going to job shadow an intern, their mouths would hit the ground. They would look around and say, are we really going to get to come here every other day and experience this environment and this level of service and learn about this industry? So you just have to get them in the environment in order for them to understand what those opportunities look like.
Oh my God, Debbie, you're so right about that. I remember when I was in grammar school, we took a class trip to Newsday, which was the newspaper of record back when people knew what newspapers were. And I remember going on a tour there and going, this is the coolest thing ever, and seeing a display of all those newspaper covers and going, maybe I want to do this with my life. And then I wound up doing something like that. So you're absolutely right. It does get people excited about that. But how do you get teachers to start generating that excitement in the classroom? Because after all, there's so many issues that they're dealing with already. It seems like it could be a challenge for them.
Well, you've got to carve out some time for the teachers to get in the environment as well. We do something in Texas called teacher externships, where the teachers get an opportunity to spend a week in a hotel, and typically some of the more fun properties in the state where the teachers go, they take their families with them, and their families enjoy a mini vacation while the teacher is job shadowing some of the key individuals in the operation to learn what really happens behind the scenes. Makes the teacher more valuable as an instructor when they get back to school the following fall. They share the lesson plans they develop with other teachers, but you've got to get those teachers in the environment. Many of our educators, I'm going to say all across the U.S., not just in Texas, many of our high school educators have not worked in the industry and really don't understand the dynamics of the industry.
Right.
So giving them those experiences, opportunities to get exposed to it are so critical.
It seems like it's a perfect opportunity to have some parents come in that love the hospitality industry and get the kids excited about it too. And I would argue the teachers would like that too, because they get like 20 minutes off, which would be really a nice thing. So what about internships and externships and that sort of a thing?
I'm sorry?
Internships, getting high schoolers and college students working in the property level on, getting that stuff, getting them really engaged in the business itself.
Are you asking what prevents that from happening?
No, how can you create those and make sure that they work?
Oh, how can you create those? Oh, that's very easy. There, in my opinion, at every hotel property, there is someone who's passionate about sharing with the next generation. It may be the general manager, and it may not be. It may be a food and beverage manager. It may be your front desk manager, but there is someone who's passionate, and that all that person has to do is connect with their local high school. Very easy. Call up that school district, ask for the career and technical education administrator, and say, hey, we want to give students an opportunity to experience the industry and see what it's like from the inside. How can we set up some job shadows? I guarantee there isn't a school district that would say, "Oh, sorry, we can't partner with you."
Right.
They are hungry for those kinds of opportunities for the students. And I'll tell you, in most high schools, there are accounting programs of study, marketing and sales programs of study, programs of study maybe that aren't specifically geared to the hospitality industry, but that are preparing students for occupations that exist within the industry. And so giving those accounting or sales and marketing students an opportunity to shadow someone in their day-to-day responsibilities is an awesome way to open that door.
Right. How do you set up a tour for a hotel for students? How would something like that work? Because I mean, a lot of hoteliers might think it would be really interesting, but they never would even think to contact a school to make it happen.
Well, I'll tell you, the tours are so beneficial as well. And really and truly, those tours are great for students who are in middle school, because that's before they make their decision of the program they're going to pursue in high school. And so kind of hooking them with the tour in middle school is awesome. And it's more than just taking them through the hotel and saying, "Oh, this is the front desk, this is the kitchen." It's having that front desk agent share with them how they started their career within the industry, sharing with them maybe what they thought they wanted to do before they got their first job in the industry. So those testimonials are really important to kids these days, and understanding what is that career progression in the industry. The hotel or hospitality industry is so fabulous because it's not a career path that's set in stone. There are so many different things you can do to get to that satisfying position that's going to make you happy. And it's just not linear. So sharing with young students about the opportunities is really important. Again, it's just calling that school district and saying, "Hey, I would love to host a group of students for the afternoon. I would love for them to come over, see our laundry room." The kids love seeing that gigantic machine that folds the linens. They are just amazed with that machine, and happy that they aren't as somebody that has to fold the linens, but showing them all of the interactions that are happening behind the scenes, and letting them see what's happening with the pastry chef in a restaurant and how they're preparing for banquets. All of that is really exciting to the kids. And when they see people in the environment, they begin to think, I can identify with that person. I can see myself doing this job. And part of what we did in our hotel summer camps is we ensured that all the students got an opportunity to visit take a tour of a full service property. And I heard students making comments to their teachers. "Hey, Miss Smith, do you really think I could work in this environment? Is this something that I could do?" You know, they think many of our resorts are for the rich and famous, and they don't even consider the opportunity of being able to work in that environment. So tours are an absolute wonderful way to do it.
Yeah, you said something about laundry room, right? So I remember going to a five-star hotel and seeing these big machines for the first time. I actually stood in one of the dryers. That's how big they were. And I remember when I was at the Plaza Hotel and I was night manager, and I would walk around the perimeter, and in the basement was the pastry shop. And I smelled the pastry shop before I saw the pastry shop. And then I went down there and I was like, I fell in love with pastry. And one day I said, I'm going to be a pastry shop. But then I realized how hard it was. And I was like, nah, that's too hard for me. But everything that you were saying was like, that's how I felt. The first time I walked through the Plaza Hotel with my girlfriend in high school, I was like, I'm going to run this place one day. And maybe 5 years later, I was night manager of the Plaza Hotel. I was night manager of the Plaza Hotel. So it's very true. And we're working, we'll hopefully announce something soon, but we're working on something to expose this unbelievable environment that we have, the hospitality industry, to the masses. We're going to try. We're working on something that I can't announce now because it's not official. But think about Hotel Impossible on steroids. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be really showing. We did a show called 5-Star Secrets, but it's going to be a little bit different, and it's going to show how wonderful this industry is.
I can't wait to see it. It's what we need to market the industry to our young people, just so they understand. I mean, who would not want to work in an environment where people are on vacation and enjoying themselves. For the most part, it's fun. It's fun.
And we'll, once it goes, we're going to ask people like yourselves to be involved, and we'll talk more about it when it's all done. But this is the time. If it's not now, then when? It's the only industry that unemployment is still, well, it's not unemployment. It's more about people not coming back to the industry. So what is it? I think it's 20 or 30% of the people that left the industry still haven't come back. And it's the only industry that hasn't had most of their people come back. So, and they're not coming back. They're not coming back. A lot of people for months were blaming, well, everybody's sitting home with getting their check. And then once the check dries up, they're going to be back to work. And again, on this show, me and Glenn, yes on that. So no.
Yeah, because $1,200 is going to keep you home for 2 years.
Yeah,
sure.
And the shift is not, and I can get pretty heated about this. We as an industry, and we have to call ourselves out on it, right, have not treated our employees properly. You have brands that have owners that pay into brands, and the owners sometimes are trying to cut costs, and they don't want to pay their employees properly. Now the employees have options, and now the employees are saying, go scratch. I got options. I'm not going back to work. So now, the minimum wage is $25 an hour, it seems, in some markets. And what I found is actually in the B markets, the rate's higher because there's less people and there's more jobs. Whereas in the bigger cities, the rates aren't as high as in some of these smaller cities, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that there's a change in what staff members expect, and the industry is going to have to roll with that change.
Can I disagree? Can I politely disagree with you? It's not the change in what people expect. It's what they will tolerate now. Before they expected it, it never came. Now they're like, I still expect it, but now I just won't tolerate it.
Right.
So there's a mind shift. It's not an expectation shift. It's a mind shift.
Right. Right.
Like I talk about, it's show up for yourself or stand up for yourself. Whereas before, people were showing up for themselves, trying to get promoted. Now they're just going to stand up for themselves and say, I want money or I'm leaving. And they can. I mean, so there's not a person I know that's running a business right now that doesn't tell me a story on a daily basis that somebody came to me and said, I want to work from home twice a week and I want more money. And they get it. So this is an incredible industry. This is a wonderful industry. Mm-hmm. But the people in the C-suites and the general manager are not the only people who should be taken care of. You should be taking care of the housekeeper better than you're taking care of anybody. And, I've been screaming, I think I'm the leader in screaming now for 10 years.
Forever.
Internationally, in front of millions of people on TV. And I never, ever worried about the managers. I always worry about the line employees. And so, yes, this is a wonderful industry. We have to come back into it, but we have to show the good and the challenging, because this is a challenging industry. Mm-hmm. But most people that come in and you treat them with respect, they love the industry, but this is what they love more. And this is what I'm missing. And I'm actually really, really missing it. Team building. There's no industry better than team building, right? If you play sports, you have a team and you have a goal. You're going to win the championship. You're going to win the Super Bowl. Whatever it is, there's a goal. In the hotel industry, there's the same goal. If you're opening a hotel, you got to get the hotel open well. You want to be number one on TripAdvisor. You want to make this month's numbers. You want to get, you want to be the best in the industry. You want the owners to open a new hotel. So there's always something to strive for. So this is the best industry, I think, for team building. And plus, Debbie, you're on a show that I went the longest without ever speaking. So congratulations.
My favorite show is what that means. but Debbie, all of this is really great. But I think one of the ways to get people excited is really fostering one-on-one relationships with younger people. Tours are great. All of these things are different, like arrows in your quiver, right? But what about the whole idea of mentoring students? Anthony does that. I do that a little. How could hotel folks mentor these kids to get them really super excited and get them engaged on a higher level?
I think we lost him.
Nope, he's there. Go on.
I didn't want to sneeze on camera.
Okay. Yeah. I think I lost you, but I think you were asking how can
mentorships.
how can someone in the industry get hooked up with a mentoring a student in a school? And I think, again, it's just reaching out to the school. I will tell you that oftentimes industry leaders think it's the school's responsibility to market the careers and the excitement of the industry. And then when you talk to the educators are saying, no, it's not our responsibility. It's industry's responsibility. And without both parties taking part in that communication and that marketing of the careers in the industry, it's not going to happen. So industry needs to reach out to education. Again, it's so simple. Just call up your local school district and say, hey, I want to share about my career progression. I want to share about the excitement of my career with high school students. Is there a way for me to mentor a group of students, one student? Can my staff members mentor a student? Can we host you for a tour? I will tell you, Anthony just mentioned the teamwork and the camaraderie. I attended last week a bed making competition in San Antonio, Texas, where all of the housekeepers from all of the different hotel properties were there. And talk about teamwork. The teams dressed in the theme of a TV show. So I saw all the Scooby-Doo characters. I saw the Walking Dead characters, and it was the whole housekeeping staff, and they came and rooted each other on. It was fabulous. And what was really great is to see the housekeepers in this Coliseum waving at housekeepers on the other side of the Coliseum who they had worked with previously. And it brought tears to my eyes to see that kind of passion about their job and the way that those housekeepers were being honored.
Right. I've got one more thing I want to mention to you. It's like a lot of the owners out there, they complain about the high rate of turnover and how much it costs to replace those employees. Well, maybe think about your overall HR strategy about doing these things and creating another feeder market to help get people that are really, really excited about a career in hospitality, as opposed to just getting another job that'll retain them a lot longer and probably save you a lot of time and effort in the future. Does that sound right, Debbie?
That sounds right. Yes.
Beautiful. All right. How can we learn more about what you're up to at the Texas Hotel and Lodging Association as their Education Foundation Director?
Texas Hotel and Lodging Association, reach out to me. I'm happy to share. I work closely with staff members from the American Hotel and Lodging Association, so I will put a plug in. They have a wonderful social media presence, publicizing many of the different occupations within the industry. Just follow the hotel industry, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You'll hear great stories of people who went to college, majored in chemistry, and then realized that's not where I want to be. I want to be in the hotel industry, interacting with people. So lots of great information on their social media campaign. And I would love to share some of the great initiatives that we have rolling out in Texas with some of the other states. So anybody reach out. I'm happy to share.
Thank you so much for being here, Debbie. I really appreciate you, and keep showing the love of hospitality just to the young folks.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. So, Anthony, I got to go catch a flight, so this is pretty exciting.
Okay. How are you going to catch it? That's a big plane.
Dude, seriously, I got a lot of running to do, and with my bag, it's not going to be a pretty sight. So I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah. Well, you're going to California, right?
I am. Yeah.
It's one place, Arizona, California. One place, it's hot and sunny right now.
Dude, I was in Arizona last week, and it was like 100 degrees. It's I checked the weather in Corona. It's gonna be like 93 today. Yeah. So it'll be a little warm. Beautiful day here in New York, though. I'm gonna go see if your seat's available and give it a hug before I get on the plane.
Are you you're in the new Delta Sky Lounge?
Yeah, to Terminal 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go check the outdoor area, which is actually open today.
Yeah,
so I'm excited about that. All right, everybody. It was good seeing you. Make sure you download us on audio. And if you're listening to us on audio, check out our video show. He's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn. And remember, you got one life, so blaze on, and
be kind to yourself.
See you all tomorrow.